Vamos então para a apresentação Registro Nacional da Esclerose Múltipla, cada vez mais próximo. Esta apresentação vai ser feita por Tina Meissner, que é a nossa próxima oradora. Possui formação superior em Informática Aplicada à Medicina pela Universidade de Brandenburg de Ciências Aplicadas. Trabalha como investigadora associada no Departamento de Informática Médica da Universidade de Medicina de Göttingen, onde é responsável pelos projetos relacionados com a esclerose múltipla. É membro da GMDS e tem colaborado na gestão de sistemas de informação da Eurorems. Presumo que é assim que se lê. Vamos então perceber o que é que se passa e como é que isto está a acontecer na Alemanha. You can do your presentation, please.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction, although I have no idea what you just told about me, so I hope it was nice. Yes, today, how do I start it? How does it work? Okay, yep, sorry. I just studied medical informatics. I cannot know such things. Okay, today I will tell you something about the German MS registry and its place in the European MS landscape. I'm here on behalf of Christoph Thalheim from the European Multiple Sclerosis Platform and my colleague from the MS registry in Germany, Alexander Stamann. And why I am here from Department of Medical Informatics, I will tell you a bit later. Okay, so I will tell you something about the registry itself, what we've done so far, what we still are doing, what kind of data we have, what are the benefits of our data collection, and what we try to achieve in the future. One thing we did was work in the European landscape together in the project of EUREMS. I will tell you about that. And I will tell you shortly about the EMA initiative, or Allied initiative, concerning security-related real-world data and where we fit in. And I will tell you about our outlook and what we aim to do and how you can participate as well as an emerging MS registry in Portugal. Okay, the German MS registry is a patient registry that captures longitudinal data of patients with MS to monitor and map the quality of care for those people. We aim to make it transparent and transparent care situation to see what is going on for people with MS and, if possible, improve it. For that, we comprise harmonized data sets from different care centers or care areas. You will see that later. So that we get a broad spectrum of MS people in Germany. And the reason why I'm standing here today is one, because I don't know if she told you, I am an MS patient as well. So my motivation is always there to go out and to tell all about the data that's been collected and how it can be used to improve our life. And our Department of Medical Informatics provides the infrastructure for the German MS registry. So we are the technical part of the process. First of all, just to know how it is established and done. In Germany, the registry is operated by the MS Research and Project Development GmbH. It was established in 2001, so we go back quite a long time already. It is a non-profit organization. We don't get money from the state or health insurances. We have to finance ourselves, or the registry has to finance itself. And it is fully owned by the German MS Society. So in detail, what are our aims for the MS registry? We like to enable the monitoring of care of people with MS, and we also, of course, like to solve scientific research projects or scientific research questions. We can only do that by having a lot of data. And we do that by establishing a permanent data repository for the care research. That means we like to capture data, we like to store data and provide data for decades. And not only for a short period of time, we like to have them for 10, 20 years to see how a single person is progressing in his or her MS. And of course, we'd like to do collaborations with other national and international data repositories, which EUREMS is one example of. A short overview of the history of the German MS registry. As stated, we started in 2001 with the first pilot phase of only 5 centers participating, where we just had a look at which data is right now being collected in different centers, so that we can get an idea, a first idea of what is multiple sclerosis like in Germany. We expanded that first efforts until 2010 and included more and more registries, centers into the registry documentation. And 2010 and until 2013, we did a whole revision of the MS registry. So first of all, we worked on the IT infrastructure. Before that, every center that documented for the registry had their own software system or even did the documentation on paper. And we wanted to have like a standardized, uniform entry system that every center can access easily. And that makes it easy to provide a high data quality. So we can put like cross-reference checks into those electronic forms. We can do like possibility checks or value range checks, so that we ensure that we have a high data quality in the registry. What is another big part of any registry is that we, or especially if we look at collaborations with other data repositories, is that we have like a standardized, harmonized data set. So what we did in the revision period is that we consented a minimal and basic data set with, together with our KKNMS, which is the competence network for multiple sclerosis in Germany, so that we document the same things in those big projects. And we also did a minimal, or we consented a minimal data set for EUREMS to set the ground or the foundation for Europe-wide collaborations. And that is a problem of standardized data sets all over Europe. I will tell about later. In 2014, we introduced our first patient-reported outcome infrastructure. We enabled patients to enter their quality of life data into a phone application. That was a standardized questionnaire, the so-called MSIF-29, I don't know if you know about it, which collects data for quality of life parameters. And those data is directly via an interface, is directly included into the registry. So we started to include the patient on a subjective basis, not the clinical side, as well into the registry. And we're still doing that. Okay, just to show you what a basic structure is like. Of course, without the patients and without the documenting centers, we would have no data. So these two components are a foundation of the MS registry. What I'd like to say especially is that the centers or the patients don't get any money for participating. So it's all on a voluntarily basis. That makes it even more valuable if we look at our data, that we know that they do it because they want to do it. So that's a very important foundation of the registry. Of course, it's important to collaborate with other cohorts, registries, especially in an international level, to expand and exchange, to have an exchange network. And what we do as a Department of Medical Informatics is the data management that keeps everything together, not only the IT infrastructure, provides the IT infrastructure, but also just thinks about concepts of collaboration, because it's not so easy to work together with other registries. It's not like you give your data, I give you mine, and everything is good. It's not that easy, so you have to have concepts behind that idea. We also have a scientific advisory board, which, where research questions can be asked, and they decide whether we can answer that with our data or if we need additional variables in our data set, etc., so that it's always moving forward. As I already mentioned, that we have a revised and harmonized data set, which makes it easier, in Germany at least, to talk about data and to exchange data and exchange results. What is important, it is not finished, it's not set in stone. It is attainable, so we can put in new parameters. For example, DMD treatments, we collect that data, but we did not collect data on safety issues regarding DMDs. So right now we're working together with the registry of KKNMS, so-called REGAMS, where we document all serious adverse events, additionally to the therapy options. And that is something that is coming on strong right now on European level, which is the EMA initiative is about. So in detail, what do we collect in our registry? And maybe what should you later on document in your registry? Since it's all voluntarily, we have to have inclusion criteria. It's not automatically, you have to have a diagnosed MS to be inside the registry, and you have to consent to your data being documented for the registry. It's not automatically, it's not a cancer registry. In Germany, you have to register every cancer patient there is. It's voluntarily, so you have to consent to it. And I can tell you, because I've heard that it's a bit difficult here, that a lot of people are willing to give their data to the registry because they hope for improvement, and they hope for exchange and feedback, which we give them. I will tell you about that later. We also collect socio-demographic data. One interesting point is the ability to work, because we've seen a dramatic incline in work ability in MS patients, and we like to collect that. We also, of course, document things on disease course like EDSS, relapses, etc. We collect data for symptoms, therapy options, care options, and as I already mentioned, we started to collect data on the quality of life. This is an overview where you can see where the centers who document, or which document for the registry, are from. And you can see that we have, apart from less populated rural areas in the northeast, we have quite a good coverage in Germany of documenting centers, so that we have a broad spectrum of MS patients. And what is one of the biggest benefits in the German MS registry is that we collect data since 2001, and that we are able to have longitudinal retrospective data on patients that even go beyond 6, 8, 9, or even 14 years. So that we have a patient from whatever, 2001, and we have data all through 2017. Right now we have about 84,000 patients in the registry, so about a quarter of the estimated population of MS people in Germany, which is quite a lot since it's all voluntarily. As I already told, we are answering research questions in collaboration with our Department of Medical Statistics from my university. We serve as a platform for international and national cooperations to better evaluate the care landscape of people with MS. And in the last years, we started to collaborate with pharmaceutical industry and regulatory bodies to improve security-related data on MS treatments, and therefore improving the overall quality of people with MS, the quality of life of people with MS. This is, unfortunately, it's a German slide from a presentation a few weeks ago, where we show what we do with our data. Here you can see a comparison of data for symptomatic therapy options in 2006 and 2016. And you can see for certain symptoms like fatigue, specific, I don't know, or pain, cognitive deficiencies, you can see how the treatment options changed over the years. So that's only possible because we have data over that period of time. We don't have like just data from now, we have data from back then, 10 years ago. And we were able to show significant changes in symptomatic treatments. But we're not only looking to have a look at our German data to see what is going on with the German people with MS. We also like to share our knowledge and our data with other European MS registries. And in 2011 we started a project which is called EUREMS, which aimed for a European register for multiple sclerosis, where 13 European registries took part in, and it was a first assessment project to see if it's actually possible to pool data from different registries at one place and to analyze the data. And for that we decided upon 4 research questions. One was simply about the prevalence and incidence of MS in these countries. One was about the birth month effect, which is one of the many theories concerning onset of MS. We had a look at that. We also tried joining together DMD data, which at that time was really not often documented. And the same goes for patient-reported outcome, which was at that time not documented by a lot of registries. And we tried to have a first evaluation of these data. Here you can see the list of participating registries, and as you can see, not a lot of registries took part in every study. That is basically due to the non-existing standardization in data sets, because every registry is doing their own thing and collecting their own data, and it's not possible to, or it was not possible to collect data from every registry for every study. A big problem, and the big working part of our institute, of our department, was making the data sets comparable and analyzable. Problem is, in pooling the data from all registries, is the heterogeneity. Because every register is supplied data sets where the count of parameters differed, where the denotations of the parameters differed. So in Sweden, they called, I don't know, birth year, something in Swedish, and put it into the parameter denotation. Other registries used abbreviations that only they knew what they meant. So it was really difficult to have a routine where we could just put in all the data sets, all the different data sets, and get at the end harmonized consented study data sets that looked alike for every registry. And that was a big part of our work, which took about 2 or 3 years, so it's not that easy to harmonize data sets from different registries. We finished that project officially in this year. Unfortunately, I cannot show you any results yet because it's an ongoing process of publication right now, and I can only show you an interim result from ECTRIMS 2016, where we published the first results on PRO data, which showed a great diversity in employment status across the 3 participating registries. And since we didn't think that that was the real situation, that maybe it was biased by some of the selecting registries, we are currently now updating the data, because that has been data from 2014. We are currently now updating the data, and we added data from the United Kingdom to see what is now the picture. But that is all together with the other studies right now in publication. So keep your eyes open for numerous publications in the near future to see what we've done. But apart from the data, we've been able to establish with EUREMS a first communication and exchange network between European MS registries. And we could pool real-world MS data. The data handling routine which we established was one of the big success in EUREMS, and we provided a basic structure for Europe-wide network of registries, which is now the starting point for our future plans. Because the EMA has, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago, started to see the value of registry data on specific diseases, and they published an initiative for patient registries to explore and expand the use of patient registries in the benefit-risk evaluation of medicines. So thanks to Christoph Thalheim's hard work with them, we were able to have a workshop on multiple sclerosis in London this July, where we brought together a lot of stakeholders and a lot of people, including registry holders, patients, regulators, reimbursement bodies, marketing authorization holders, and HTA bodies. We were divided into 3 groups in that workshop, and we discussed topics like governance, a common standardized data set across Europe, or procedures within the single registries within the whole network. And we agreed upon recommendations and actions. Those recommendations and actions can be found in the report of the EMA on their website for the workshop, and I should advise you, if you should want to continue on the European registry level, or if you want to build up your own registry, to read that recommendations and actions. And one thing from the EMA initiative in the report was that sentence that currently requests for registry data are managed by individual registries or groups of registries on a case-by-case basis. Registries would like to establish a structured framework for collaboration with MAHs and regulators, and agree that a single point of contact for data requests could be useful. So that was one of our starting points to agree upon continuing UMs. We'd like to establish a European network of MS registries, which will be called the MS Data Alliance, where we have a single contact point for pharma industry, for regulatory bodies, for other research questions that they can contact, and the contact point will reach out to every participating registrar and collect data and pool data at one point. Okay, my last slide. So what we aim for with the MS Data Alliance is that we establish a Europe-wide MS network, and so that we can exploit the potential of real-world MS data even more by bringing together existing MS registries like we did in EUROMS, but also emerging MS registries. And that's one of my appeal to you. You don't have an official MS registry yet, so we would like to help those countries who don't have a registry yet, but who want to build up a registry, to get in contact with me or Christoph Thalheim from the EMSP, because we want to help. We want to help you set up an infrastructure. We want to help you set up a common data set that all of the other countries document, so that we can be a huge European network of registries to work together for the people with MS, who are always in the center of our efforts. And yeah, I can only appeal to you to come to me, to Christoph, and say you need help or you need advice. So that's my last thing I want to tell you. So should you have any questions now, feel free to go ahead.
Fazemos as perguntas. We can debate. You can sit here, and then